Hi, everyone. Dan Eisner here from ZLC Employee Benefits Solutions. My passion is working hard to find better ways for employee benefits by partnering with finance and HR leaders in the market. I also look to leverage my relatively unique profile. I have more than 20 years of experience as an employee benefits advisor, and I have the skills as the only chartered professional accountant working in this industry in the local market. It's this passion that drove me to develop the Better Benefits podcast series, and thanks for joining me for another episode. For this episode, I'm going to change things up a bit, and I'm going to speak to a recent article that was put together by my colleague, Fab Biagini. He's another advisor at ZLC Employee Benefits Solutions. For a number of years, he's been putting together a publication in advance of the busy travel seasons to help both employers and employees get prepared and to help them understand what travel coverage is typically available through employee benefits programs. As always, I'm going to give you my thoughts, and Fab's, of course, but I'm really interested to know what you think. Also, if you like what you hear and want to learn more, be sure to hit the like button or follow me on my LinkedIn business page to be notified about other podcasts to come. Okay, so let's get started. So if you're lucky enough to be planning a trip outside Canada over the winter season or any other time of the year, knowing what your emergency medical coverage encompasses can help you have a more carefree vacation and also arm you with the right information to enjoy it if you experience any medical missteps. Ahead of the upcoming travel season, we want to ensure both employees and employers are informed about their emergency medical travel coverage that is likely available through the group benefits program. Obviously, this guidance is relevant to your traveling now or any other time of the year, but we do like to put this out before the peak travel seasons. So it cannot be overstated that each policy is different and each traveler's situation may be different. As such, we strongly recommend that anyone traveling outside of Canada review and understand their coverage thoroughly, paying close attention to the details noted in their plan booklet or other insurance resources, particularly the exclusions section. So if employees require further clarification of their particular travel plan or situation, they should directly contact the insurance company or the insurer's travel assistance provider, their partner, before they leave to verify coverage. And that partner is usually noted on the back of their ID card. Okay, and here's some general guidance on emergency medical travel coverage that we have in these plans. Okay, to begin with, first and foremost, your provincial medical coverage needs to be in place before you can go away. And this is typically a general requirement for any group benefits plan to be in place as well. Any and all travelers, and that includes eligible employees, their spouses, and their dependent children, must be correctly enrolled under the extended healthcare benefit plan. And employees can verify which family members are covered pretty easily online through the insurer's member portal or through a mobile app. Okay, please keep in mind, emergency medical coverage is there to alleviate a medical emergency. This is commonly defined as a sudden, unexpected injury or acute episode of disease demanding immediate medical attention that prior to departing could not have been reasonably anticipated based on the employee's prior medical condition. Okay, another thing, unfortunately, COVID's still with us, so we don't want to ignore it yet. But please note that for most people, symptoms from acquiring COVID-19 can still result in a medical emergency. And in most cases, that emergency medical travel coverage is going to be applied the same way for COVID as it is for all other medical emergencies. Okay, as with all insurance contracts, there are limitations and exclusions that must be understood before you depart. And here's a couple of things you should know. Okay, so as we said, these contracts do not provide coverage for ongoing treatments of a pre-existing medical condition. So if you have a pre-existing medical condition, but you believe your condition is stable, there still might be some limitations of coverage. Okay, what this essentially means is that your pre-existing condition must be considered stable for a stated period of time prior to travel. And that could be anywhere from 90 to 180 days. So when in doubt, contact your doctor, ask your doctor to confirm that you're medically stable and fit to travel, and maybe even ask them to document that in your file just in case you need it later. So some insurance companies may also include limitations related to certain travel destinations, particularly around whether it's safe to travel there. And they often rely on the Government of Canada travel advisory list. So that travel advisory list has level 3 advisories where you're supposed to avoid non-essential travel, or level 4 advisories where you're supposed to avoid all travel. And that's going to apply to particular locations, and that's going to be a limitation regardless of your emergency. So when in doubt about where you're traveling, check the Government of Canada website to see the impacted countries. Okay, so before you go, you got to know a few things. As we said, all travelers, that's the employees, your spouses, your dependents, whether you're traveling together or traveling separately. Okay, if you're uncertain about your coverage, please contact the insurance company directly, and verify your coverage prior to leaving your province of residence. And when you contact the insurance company, reference your specific policy and your ID number to ensure that the response that you get is specific to your policy. Okay? Don't ask general questions or provide general comments. Because please note that insurance companies also offer many types of individual travel policies, and they can differ significantly from a group policy. Okay? And as we said, always seriously consider, the travel advisories as set out by the Government of Canada. Okay? COVID, it's not the first, nor will it be the last issue impacting travel around the world. And we went through a terrible period around it. And it really highlighted that you need to understand the details and limitations of your policies to protect you from any surprises. Okay, before you depart, every traveler should have a copy of their emergency travel medical card, their ID card, if it's a separate one. And you got to keep that with you at all times. Okay, if spouses are traveling separately from their dependent children, everybody should have their own cards. Okay, when you're traveling, you should inform your travel companions, whether that's your family or friends, about your coverage. And in particular, the contact information about who they should reach out to in the event that you're unable to make that contact yourself. So my personal situation on this is a number of years ago, I was in a hospital in Hawaii with a dislocated shoulder. And it was great that my wife knew exactly where our card was, who she was supposed to contact, and she was able to coordinate everything while I just sat there getting better in the ER. Okay. If you can't find your card, you can order another card for yourself or for your family members. You can get that directly from the insurance company. In many cases, you can just actually print them or download them, onto your mobile phone, or print them off the insurer's website or their app. If you have a medical emergency, okay, when you're traveling, it's important that you contact that emergency and assistance number on the back of your ID card. And again, if you're not able to make that call, your traveling companion should know what to do and who to call. And you should make that contact prior to seeking any kind of treatment, or as soon as possible after you've sought treatment. If you're unable to make that contact on your own, again, make sure somebody else can do it for you. So that travel assistance provider, they're able to guide you through any concerns that you might have. They're also going to help you find the best facility to access treatment. And they're going to confirm with other hospitals or other medical professionals the coverage that is available around you to avoid any delays in treatment. Don't be surprised. Sometimes we've seen cases where they'll actually tell you to stop treatment because they don't like the facility that you're in, and they might dispatch a cab or even an ambulance to move you to a more bona fide facility around you. They've got that information available. Okay. If you're admitted to a hospital, that travel assistance provider will discuss treatment options, but they're also going to arrange for payment with the hospital directly. Okay. And in some, as I said, some cases, they may disagree with the medical provider, and it's best for them to have that discussion on your behalf. So, hope you found that helpful. You've heard my thoughts and opinions, but let me know what you think. Was this helpful? Are you going to think about this stuff before you head off on your next travel adventure? And how does this compare to what you're hearing from your current advisor or other advisors in the market? As always, I'm really interested to know if there are other current topics that you'd like to see me cover in future podcasts. Let me know what's bothering you, keeping you awake at night with respect to your employee benefits plan. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to follow me on my LinkedIn business page, which is Dan Eisner, Employee Benefits Advisor. As well, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel for a notification on the next Better Benefits podcast. And all that information will come up on the screen in a second. Thanks so much.